One bite of your favorite Lay's chips, and you might as well be signing a plea deal with death. Scary, isn't it? Don't worry, we're not here to scare you to bits. We're just here to tell you the important things international brands will not. First things first, we can start with the fact that potato chips aren't just empty calories. They actually contain acrylamide, which is a chemical formed when starchy foods fry at high heat. Agencies like the WHO's International Agency for Research on Cancer have classified acrylamide as a probable human carcinogen, and it's found in abundance in chips and fries. Even more horrifying, a 2025 study warns that ultra-processed snacks like Doritos or Cheetos can activate brain responses similar to those seen in addiction to cocaine. In other words, these crunchy foods can hit our brains like a drug fix, possibly shortening our lifespan in the process. In this video, we'll show you the jaw-dropping evidence supporting our position and reveal exactly which chip brands are at the center of these toxic scandals, so keep watching. Believe it or not, over time, the snack giants that produce the chips you love have been forced to admit the dangers that come with their products. In 2005, for instance, California's Attorney General filed a suit against Frito-Lay, Kettle Chips, Ore-Ida, and others for selling fries and chips loaded with acrylamide. By 2008, the companies quietly settled. The maker of Lay's, which is Frito-Lay, promised to cut acrylamide by 20%, and Kettle Chips agreed to an 87% reduction. Even the owner of Pringles agreed to a 50% cut as well. Frito-Lay shelled out $1.5 million in fines, with more penalties if they missed the mark, to dodge having to deal with cancer warning labels on Lay's bags. The message was clear at the time. Even the snack industry knew these chemicals were no joke. It was also a major ruling at that period because Frito-Lay sold and still sells most of its potato chips in California. Now, if we know chips hide cancer chemicals, why isn't every bag labeled poison inside? All we know at this time is that the companies quietly agreed to reformulate after the 2008 ruling. The Food and Drug Administration, as well as state regulators, have also been debating issuing these warnings. In fact, there was a 2025 court ruling that blocked mandatory cancer labels for foods because dietary acrylamide science is still unsettled. Nonetheless, the settled lawsuit shows you. Big Snack knew there was reason to panic. The industry also knows that it's not just cancer risk that makes chips dangerous, it's how addictive they are. It's no accident that not much later, after you've had a bag of chips, your body craves that junk food rush. Researchers have found that eating salty, fried snacks like chips literally triggers a dopamine surge in your brain, similar to nicotine. That explains why you reach for another handful even when your pants feel tight. In fact, a University of Michigan report warned that ultra-processed foods like chips, cookies, and soda can hijack the brain's reward system, prompting compulsive cravings and consumption despite harmful consequences. And as one neuroscientist put it, we're not becoming addicted to carrots or oatmeal, but to industry-engineered snacks designed to hit the brain like a drug, rapidly, intensely, and repeatedly. In a nutshell, chips are like crunchy little crack. So snack scientists know exactly what they're doing. The orange powder on Doritos isn't magic dust. It's a precise blend of salt, MSG-like enhancers, and flavor compounds that light up your taste buds. Studies note that junk foods meet all the criteria for addiction: compulsive use, mood alteration, reinforcement, and intense cravings. This means, in plain English, your Doritos bag is a dopamine machine. That's why one chip leads to just one more and one more. It's not just your willpower failing, it's your brain chemistry getting perfectly tweaked by food engineers. Furthermore, as if that weren't enough, some of the safest seeming ingredients in chips have turned out to be sketchy too. Take diacetyl, for example, the artificial butter flavor used in many cheesy chips. A recent lawsuit revealed that Frito-Lay's cheddar and sour cream chips contained far more diacetyl than would be used in natural dairy, which means when you have those chips, you're basically eating a vat of butter flavor chemical. Of course, eating it is not immediately dangerous because it's generally recognized as safe by the FDA, but make sure you don't inhale it. Research shows that vaporized diacetyl forms unsafe vapors in the lungs, and long exposure has literally caused popcorn lung, which is a fatal bronchiolitis in snack factory workers. That means that every time someone turned up the heat to toast that powdery topping you enjoy, workers were forced to breathe in vapor that scarred their airways. And diacetyl isn't alone. Chip seasonings often contain things like TBHQ, which is a petroleum antioxidant, and undisclosed natural flavors, which can easily be mystery chemicals. Many cheddar-flavored chips brag that they're made with real cheese, but the ingredients easily read like a chem lab. In short, that mouth-watering smell and taste could be hiding nasty additives you don't know about. So, when we say chips can be dangerous, we mean literally dangerous. And sometimes, food safety warnings hit the headlines. In 2016, for example, small batch Deep River Snacks had to recall their entire sour cream and onion kettle. Chip Line, after routine testing, found salmonella in the cheese seasoning. Thankfully, no one got sick, but it was a stark reminder that even a sealed chip bag isn't sterile, and big players have had slip-ups too. In December 2024, Frito-Lay quietly pulled over 6,000 bags of Lay's Classic in Oregon and Washington because the spice mix contained undeclared milk. For someone with a severe dairy allergy, eating that bag could have triggered a serious or life-threatening allergic reaction. They immediately pinpointed it to a supplier error, but that kind of error shows you how a tiny oversight can turn a nostalgic snack into a medical hazard. These recalls due to salmonella, allergens, you name it, are usually buried in the news, but they prove a point nonetheless. That chips can carry real risks beyond fat and salt. Now, if you think you'll be safe once you switch to better-for-you chips, think again, because a 2025 Consumer Reports investigation found heavy metals, even in the fancy gluten-free or veggie chip aisle. Several cassava-based snacks that were tested had alarming lead levels, and one bag contained about 17 times California's acceptable lead limit for a single serving. Yes, 17 times. The results were so bad that California's health department actually recommended just tossing the worst brands out. The lesson here is that when companies advertise using exotic ingredients like cassava flour, beets, and kale in making their chips, there's every possibility that they're sourcing these things from regions with contaminated soil. And it's not just the ingredients, too. It can even be your bag. Many chip wrappers use PFAS forever chemicals to repel grease. And in one test, a fast casual chain's pita chip bag measured 260 parts per million of PFAS. Those chemicals migrate into food and your body, staying there for years. PFAS have also been linked to cancers and hormone disruption. So every time you take a chip out of the bag, a trace of plasticizer might be hitching a ride on it, waiting to really do some damage to your body later. Now, is any of this to scare you for no reason? Like we said earlier, absolutely not. It's just so you can make smarter choices. At least now that you know chips can literally be toxic, you have the upper hand. First things first, you don't have to panic eat another bag, because tomorrow it might be worse. In fact, cutting back on these snacks is a free health win. Every bag you skip means less junk in your diet and fewer hidden poisons in your body, which your energy, skin, and waistline will thank you for. Plus, you can feel pretty smug outsmarting big food, because most people still think chips are harmless fun, but you know the secrets. I'll be honest, we all love that satisfying crunch. I know I'm eyeing another handful right now, but now that the cat's out of the bag, we should be the smart ones at the party who keep our figures and avoid the mid-bag stomachache and guilt. Because imagine skipping that bag for a week. You could easily drop a pound or two without trying. You also might not notice tomorrow, but down the road, your chances of heart disease or diabetes will tick down. And is that flat belly and clear skin part of why we really crave these snacks in the first place? Let that be at the back of your mind the next time you walk past such a product. That's it for this video, but this is just the beginning too. If chips were full of such surprises, just keep watching, because we'll expose more tips for you to stay one step ahead of big food and live a healthier, happier, and more attractive lifestyle. Click on the next video on the channel, and we'll see you there.